I've recently realized that most of our problems are made worse in our heads. I never used to see it that way. I thought people suddenly start to take interest in your life, like cockroaches trying to make their way into your head. Then a girl came to our school who changed my mind forever. My name is Ivana, and I'm in high school. There are 20 students in our class. All of them are very different. One day something happened in our school, and it affected all of us. We had a new student. Her name was Crystal. She was disabled and from a poor family. Her and her dad moved to our town only a couple days ago, and everyone was curious. We wanted to know everything. What were her secrets and what she could tell us? Perhaps we were being over-curious, just because we hadn't had a new student for years, and we were all too used to each other. I didn't know how to introduce myself, and should I at all? Why did I want to? Well, because as I said, we have an established environment here. Everyone knew everything about each other already. Every student has a reputation. Some were popular, some were average, and some walked around unnoticed, irrelevant. I think it's the same in all schools, but in our class, because of the division in social status, something very terrible happened, and I was the reason why. That year, nothing went my way. My parents got divorced. My older sister got very rebellious. She was almost never at home. My mother was worried about her. But now, I also want to rebel. I suddenly wanted attention. I needed an easy way to get it. I decided that this year I would make friends with the most popular kids. They were children from our town's most elite families, and they were made up of Gloria, Augustine, and Jasmine. Gloria was the leader and happened to be the most rude and bitchy. I had to go through her. By the way, yes, I forgot to mention that we already talked with the new girl, Crystal, who was very nice. She limped a little on both legs. It didn't bother me, but then I noticed that she was interested in hanging out with me. But I had other plans, and a friendship with her would not benefit me so much. So I decided to distance myself from her, despite her being a really nice person. The first thing I did was go up to Gloria, ignoring Crystal, and I showered Gloria with compliments about her figure and her hair. I knew that a lot of brains were not needed. The main thing was to flatter her. Gloria was flattered, and then suddenly asked me questions about what I need from her. I just said that I wanted to invite her to my party at my home. I wanted to arrange a girls' evening, just the four of us. Surprisingly, the girls agreed. We had a good chat. We laughed, and I already thought that they accepted me. But the next day, Gloria said that if I wanted to be friends with them, then I have to do what they said. On the same day, after school, they took me to a beauty salon, where they gave me a complete makeover. Gloria insisted on completely changing my style. I took out the money given to me on my birthday and spent it all on clothes. Mom was shocked, but she said that it suits me. Just be careful, she told me before I left for school. I kissed her and went on my way. That day, my time of glory began. As soon as I entered my class, all my classmates started to look at me. The boys were checking me out, and the girls were admiring my glow-up. I wore heels for the first time, and I have to admit it was pretty strange. Gloria came up to me, gave me a friendly kiss, and said that we were having lunch together. As soon as they let me sit with them at lunch, it meant that I was officially accepted. I was overjoyed. "You look great. This look suits you," said a voice from behind. I turned around and saw Crystal behind me. She looked at me and smiled. I said, "Thank you," and Gloria and the girls immediately pulled me in to talk. I didn't even have a chance to say goodbye. At lunch, Gloria said that the homecoming dance was coming up. She said that we have to organize it and make sure it goes smoothly. I was given certain assignments, basically the dirty work. To get stuff, wash, clean, but I agreed anyway, just as long as I get to be part of this group. At the same time, I was spending less and less time with Crystal. She had given up approaching me. Only thing she did was look at me and smile. I felt guilty. I tried my best not to feel this way. While we were busy preparing for the homecoming event, Gloria suddenly asked me if I would help Crystal with something, to talk to her. I said no, but then she said if I want to stay popular, I had to do what she said. "This will be your test. If you fail, you leave. If you succeed, consider yourself part of the elite," she told me. I hesitated, but I knew I had to agree. After hearing my assignment, it upset me so much. I thought about it for a really long time. I didn't want to disappoint Gloria, as so much work had already been done. When the event came, everyone who attended was happy. It was a fun evening. Gloria made me drink a glass of champagne. I didn't want to because I was driving, but I couldn't disappoint her. And as soon as Crystal entered the hall, I went up to her, spoke to her, then invited me to dance. Crystal smiled at me. She limped a little, but still was so kind and wanted to dance. Gloria called her a cripple and made me call her that too. When the dance was almost over, I went up to Crystal. She wanted to tell me something, but I poured red punch on her, ruining her whole dress and hair. Everyone started laughing at her, and I felt so bad. She looked at me, burst into tears, and limped into the street. Gloria ran up to me, hugged me, and said, "You didn't disappoint me. Welcome, sister." And then we took some pictures. Turns out that the speakers broke during the dance. Gloria asked me to go to her house to bring new speakers. We got into the car, and at the same intersection, I almost crashed into another car. Crystal was actually driving the other car. She was still crying. "Step on the gas," Gloria said, but I didn't want to. I said that this was wrong, but she began to say that she would kick me out of the group if I didn't, and so I listened. I pushed her car with mine, and she got pushed off the road. We didn't expect that the car would roll over, and out of fear, drove away quickly. My heart was pounding, and I was terrified. "We killed her," I said. Gloria told me to shut up and said that she had nothing to do with it, because it was not her who was drunk driving. I was filled with rage and hit her in the face several times. Then her mother ran out of her house and threatened me to the police. I drove back to where the accident happened, but the police were already there and there was no car. I turned around and went the other way, hid the car in the garage, and could not sleep for a really long time. The next day I came to school. I was really not myself. Everyone only talked about Crystal and that someone had hit her car. For 3 days I walked around panicked, didn't sleep, didn't eat, and did not want to talk to anyone. Then finally, I decided to visit Crystal at the hospital. Crystal was scared at the sight of me, but I fell to my knees by the bed and began to beg her for forgiveness. I said that I had crossed the line and that I was glad that she was alive and that I was to blame for her accident. I talked so much and so loudly, and she was simply quiet. A couple of minutes later, her father came and helped her get into a wheelchair, and I passed out. I knew that it was my fault and that she would no longer be able to walk. When I woke up, Crystal reassured me, saying that she always had prosthetic legs. "I lost my legs a long time ago, so only the prosthetics are broken. And for the time being, I'll use the wheelchair," she said. We had a long conversation. I vowed that I would fix everything. From that moment on, I made different choices. I stopped talking to Gloria and her elite group. Rumors quickly spread, and now no one liked the elite group, including me, since I was part of it. But I deserved it. Now my priorities have changed, and I want to make up for my mistakes. And Gloria, no one talks to her anymore. If you liked the video, then please leave a like and comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe.